So again, Harvard is a school that probably one of the best schools in the world. If someone says to you that, Chris, like, I want to go to Harvard, I want to go to an Ivy League school or a top school like that,
Mm-hmm.
what advice would you give them?
Oh yeah, no, it's a transformative experience. It's a word that like we kind of, let's say almost tongue in cheek, because we have a dean at the school who, when he gives speeches, he talks about the idea of a transactional experience versus a transformative experience, and it's kind of his catchphrase. So when I say it's a transformative experience, it's a shout out to him. But I would say in order to have that type of transformative experience, like if you're like a high school, freshman, and your goal is to, maybe one day go to Harvard, I would just say that, I feel like if you set your goals on being the type of person that you think would get into Harvard, which is just, being just like someone, I feel like Harvard tries their best to cultivate a class of like special human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like if your focus is, less on getting into Harvard and just focusing on becoming a better person, whether that's learning more, focusing on your academics, becoming more well-rounded by, academics, sports, extracurriculars, giving back to your community. I think if you do all that stuff with like the right intention, and that intention not necessarily being going to Harvard, but being like a better you, because like I was like, yeah, I would love to get into Harvard, but like, a lot of the stuff that I did that got me into Harvard, like I did independent of getting into Harvard, and independent of a focus on getting into Harvard. It was like, I want to be the best basketball player I can be. I want to like be the top student in my class. Like those were like personal things that I wasn't doing to impress Harvard. I was doing it because I wanted it.
Yeah.
And like I think setting those type of personal goals were like, this is something I really love, and like I want to excel at this. Yeah. I think that's the type of stuff that'll get you into Harvard, whether that's music, whether that's academics, whether that's, you're passionate about cancer research in high school, that's something that you're already doing.
Yeah.
Like having also the mentality that like age is just a number. Because like honestly, like I feel like that's one of the biggest myths out there, the idea of like you have to be a certain age to do certain things. And honestly, like I wish I'd realized this earlier. But, like, the only difference between, like, kids and adults is just, like, literally just, like...
The number.
Yeah, it's just a number. It's, like, a matter of, like, if you're 16 and you want to do a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, like, you just, like, figure out how to do it. Like, go online and you can figure out how to do a lot of the stuff. And, like, it's a matter of, like, society teaches you that you have to wait till you're of age to do a lot of these things. And, like... No, it's just like you have to wait until you're of knowledge to do a lot of these things. And as long as you take the time to be of knowledge to do these things, you'll be surprised. You'll be incredibly surprised at what you're able to accomplish. I was just in New York at the headquarters of this, startup called Juve Consulting. Essentially, it's like a bunch of college kids who are consulting some of the largest, corporations in America on the ideas of like how to communicate to Generation
Z. How do you spell that?
JUV, okay. Juve Consulting. So... I was like, yeah, and it's like, they started, the founders, I think he started it like his freshman year of college or maybe even before college, and it's like, yeah, why not start a company? Why not do a lot of these things? And, I understand that, certain people live within certain conditions that, it is a privilege to be able to do some of this stuff.
That's right, yeah. And,
like, acknowledging that fact that, like, certain people live within conditions where it's hard for them to do that stuff. But, like, there's I think it's an MLK quote where he talks about, like, if you're... if you're someone who dusts, like a broomsman,
yeah.
Like make sure that when you die on your grave it says, "This man with a broomsman, and here lays a man who swept well," something along those lines. And this is an extreme paraphrase of the quote, but like, the basketball equivalent is like be a star in your role.
Yeah.
Find what your role is, find out what you can contribute, and be a star in that.
That's right.
And that's what I think. And at no point did I mention, like, admissions criteria. Yeah. These are all introspective things. And then I feel like if you focus on a lot of that stuff, then, like, the ancillary stuff, like test prep is important, etc.
Yes, yeah.
But I think if you focus on, like, some of those more introspective, like, you stuff, if you focus on you'll be surprised at what you can do.
Yeah. And I was going to say, that also ties in with, what is it? Luck is preparation meaning
Oh,
opportunity.
preparation
Yeah,
is opportunity.
yeah.
No, and
Yeah, I think like
I mean, some people it's not the right time for them.
yeah.
But if they've been always preparing for it,
I would like to say I stay ready, so I don't have to get ready.
That's a Tommy Emmerich quote right there.
Really?
Yeah, so that's one of his.
You thought you
That's
were
one of
gonna-
his favorite
Oh,
quotes.
but I say it all
That's
the
one
time.
of his favorite quotes. Yeah. So yeah, I would say stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah.
It's hard to get into Harvard. Like it's like rolling a dice. Like you could be super qualified and not get into Harvard, and if you're so focused on getting into Harvard, like you might miss other opportunities.
Yeah.
But if you focus on just being exceptional, like maybe you don't get into Harvard, maybe you go to another school, maybe you don't need school, maybe your route is something different.
Yeah.
But if you focus on you, like Harvard is always going to be a possibility, and like if it ends up not happening, you'll still be able to be happy with who you are.
Yeah.
Let's go. Check. She ain't gotta tell me what to do with it. I already know. Been knew I had the juice with it. Y'all ain't ready though. Outside, got the vision going.